Hi everyone, it's Charlotte from The Writable, and today we've got a question about genre. And the question is, I don't know what genre my book is. It's got elements of fantasy, dystopia, mystery, and historical. So how do I figure it out? Yeah, of course. Great question. And I love a good genre bending tale. I love when we can take elements from here and here and here and here and here and mix them all together. So, what kind of struck me with this question was that we've actually got two settings and two genres, and now they present as genres, but when I think of it, I think of historical as a setting and fantasy as a setting. And yes, I mean, when you list it on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, it's going to go probably under one of those categories, but then you're going to be able to sort of niche it down a little bit. So when I'm thinking about genre for a book, I mean, personally, I write in just a handful of genres and I sort of know what each one is, but if this is the first book and we're not quite sure where it goes, my first question is, what is this story about? And I'm going to introduce you to a concept of the one sentence story. So it's basically condensing your entire novel or even entire series into one sentence. Something like, this type of character in this type of setting has to do this. Has to do whatever the mission, whatever the goal is of the story. Not necessarily how it ends, but what it is that at that inciting instant they're going to set off to do. And it can be hard sometimes to narrow it down to just one thing, right? Because we've got elements of fantasy, of dystopia, of historical, of mystery coming up. So again, it can be difficult to narrow it down just to one, but in that inciting instant, your character's living their normal life and something happens and it sends them on an adventure. What is their goal when they get sent on that adventure? And that's often the simplest way to narrow it down to say, where is this supposed to go? Again, you might have to sort of go setting first if this is... And what I would say too is, just based on the list here, there probably actually is the ability to put it in like a steampunk or something. So you can definitely have a look around for similar stories. Sometimes the easier, quicker way to do that is to say, where do I go for the books that I like to read? Because often you're going to write a story that's in the same genre as what it is that you like to read. And hopefully that's true, so that you have an understanding of the genre. You're not just jumping into something you've never seen before. But I don't know many authors that do that. So where do you go for the books that you like to read? Or if you were looking for this particular book, where would you go as you're sort of looking through the Amazon categories? And Amazon is probably the easiest way to explore different genres. You just open up your page and you just start clicking down the menu to find where, just to find how things branch apart. And then you can look at the first couple of books that show up there, so kind of your top sellers in that genre. Have a look at the blurbs and decide, does this book seem like it would be along the same lines as your book? Does it kind of fit in? And I've certainly thought that I would put books in one type of genre or like subcategory, and really decided, and then looked at some of these books and said, like, these are really not what I'm writing, and gone looking elsewhere. So it's really just about experimenting, playing around, having a look what's there, but also having a look at the story and figuring out, what is the main story? What is the central core of this book? Because there are a lot of stories that bring in mystery elements or bring in thriller elements. They bring in elements, but where it needs to go genre-wise is what the main story is. I don't care about the elements, I care about the main story. All right, so that is just a little bit about genres today. I am Charlotte from The Writable. If you have a writing or book-related question of your own, feel free to send me a message and I will answer your question in a video just like this one. Happy writing, everyone!